Hey, so I just want to make a quick follow-up video. This is probably the last video on this channel, just to talk about my first year with the Supernote A6X. That's the version that I have. I made a bunch of videos when I originally bought this. I kind of just talked about my process as I was going through it. Since then, there's been a lot of updates, and I just wanted to basically let people know what I think of it a year and 6 months later. Unfortunately, they don't have this for people to demo, and the best resource is basically YouTube, and that's what my previous videos have basically been trying to do. Just share like my experience, like as a real person, how I actually use this. And so 1 year later, I just want to talk about, is it still worth it? Do I still think it's worth it? And if I still use this? So short answer is yes, I still use it, and I do think that it is worth it. And just to kind of go through my journey of using this and just being very transparent. So when I first bought it, I was using it all the time because it was new and it was exciting, and it was like this new piece of tech that I wanted to use. But over time, gradually, as with I'm sure most tech, people kind of just gradually use it less and less. And so I found myself, instead of doing it every single day, using this every single day, actually went down to maybe once a week, which is unfortunate because it's really great. There's also been a lot of updates during the past year or so that were pretty significant. I think the biggest one was the Google Drive link, to be able to connect this to Google Drive, which I think is a huge benefit. It's one thing that I wish they would have had when I bought it in January 2022-ish was when I bought this. But I have been using it recently again for my other YouTube channel, as well as just jotting general notes down. I guess my reflection on the Supernote a year later would be that, you know, I know it's an expensive purchase, and so buying one of these is like a huge cost, and you want to know if I'm going to use it and all that. My advice would be, you're probably going to use it, but I think there may be a point where you don't use it as much, and just kind of be prepared for that. Like if you're into writing and journaling and you're going to just do it every single day, then, you know, this is great, but you're probably that type of person that's already using like paper and pen, and you're just really into that. This to me is more like someone who kind of aspires to be like that, but just not quite really. And I think it's okay to have that little dip in not using it and then coming back to it, and it being amazing and just really reliable. I remember when I was a lot younger, I would start journals all the time, and I would have like a composition book, and it'd be all brand new and blank. And then I would start it for like 3 or 4 days, and then I'd just give up. And then I'd have all these journals and these composition books that had like 3 or 4 day starts, and then the rest of it would be kind of blank. I'm not saying that most people would do that with this, but I am saying that maybe after you use this for a while, you might not be as excited, and I think that's just normal. So that's one of the things that I recognize, but it still makes this worth it because I still use it, and it'll always be there in case I do want to use it. There was this moment where I hadn't used it for a while, and I was like, man, I really want to get back into journaling and just writing. And so I was researching all of these like notebooks and pens, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I was really getting into that, like looking at all like the best pens and journals. And then I kept thinking, oh, where am I going to store all these things? I don't have a lot of room. So then I remembered, which is it sits right there on my shelf, that I have one of these. And it's like, why don't I just use this? And yeah, it works really great. The Heart of Metal pen, which I think is absolute must when you buy this. I have the standard pen, but it's just not even close. This pen is way, way better. So do I regret buying this? No, I don't, because I use it now, of course. I do wish that I had a better cover though. I got the regular standard cover, but at the time I was just, I didn't know, right? And I was worried that if I bought like too much, I wouldn't be able to return it. And I'm like, let me just try it first. So standard cover works fine, but I do wish I had the leather cover. I also thought about the A5X or some of the larger models if they ever do that. I know way back they were rumored to be working on an A4 size, and I thought that'd be really great, or even like a slimmer size than this. And I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds good. And in fact, I had plans on buying the A5X and the potential A4 or A4X or whatever else is coming next, just to have a bigger size, because I really like this A6 size. Again, being in the US, I'm not familiar with the A6 sizes. It's like half a sheet. You know, I'm just like, is it 8.5 by 11 or is it half a sheet? Like, but anyway, this size is perfect for me. Because I write a lot and I tend to write big because I'm planning videos and scripts and things, it would be nicer to have a bigger screen just to have more room. But I also recognize they wouldn't be as portable, and for me, portability was the most important thing. So that was the trade-off, which is why I was considering buying the A5X just to have more like at home or like in a very stationary setting where it wouldn't be taken around a lot. And then this one would be the more mobile one. But then I decided, I don't know if I want to buy that, because then it's like 2 devices, too much, and syncing issues. I was like, I don't want to worry about it. So I'm glad I bought this one only, but it was really tempting to buy the bigger one. And like I said, the A4 size, if that ever comes out, that would be pretty tempting as well. And also to comment on just kind of the way that I use this, I know there's a lot of templates and just various things that you can explore. You can download templates and all of that. But I found that once I found what I needed, I didn't really need to switch. So I basically used just the standard lined rule and a certain thickness of my pen, and that was good enough. In the beginning, I explored with like highlighter and all these different things, trying to drop in images and links and all that. It wasn't for me. And maybe people find that very useful, and that's the reason why they bought this. But for me, again, the fundamental reason why I bought this and what it came down to was just to write, and to encourage me to write more and have a place where I could save it all and it be digital, but also you have that writing experience. Because yeah, sure, I could type it out, and I have a Chromebook just for that, just to type things out. But there are times when I just needed to write things out, and there's something special about writing that you can't get with the keyboard. And again, I think if you're looking at this type of device, you already know that. I think since my last video, there's been a whole bunch of other devices that came out. Most notably is the Amazon Scribe, which was, when I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's the one. Because I have a Kindle, I thought, oh, that's gonna be amazing. I'm actually glad I didn't buy it though, because from what I can see with reviews, it's not as polished since it's a first generation device. And I'm very happy with the feel of this. I know there's this huge debate between like Remarkable 2 and this and all these different other tablets. I haven't tried any of those other ones, so I can't really say. I have tried the iPad with the pencil and I think that screen protector thing that makes it seem like writing, but the writing experience on this, it's really great. It's hard to describe and convey through YouTube video. You just kind of have to try it. But I love the fact that the writing experience is good, and the nib, I don't know if you can you see that? No, sorry. It's on iFocus, but the nib on this thing will not wear out. And that was important to me because I don't want to have to replace stuff. I don't want to have to buy again and replace and have to keep track of that. I want something that will just last forever. Again, this is sort of a long rambling discussion, but again, I just want to provide some closure on how I feel about this a year and a half later. I would say that if you're on the fence, my advice would be to go for it. And as someone who's had it for a year and a half, I wouldn't expect someone to use it the entire year. You might just fall uninterested, just like a lot of other tech that we end up purchasing, where we buy it, we're so excited, and eventually we don't use it. But I'm glad that I have one of these, because now I'm able to return to it and can basically pick up where I left off. But I do want to know that one of my concerns that I've noticed is the hard drive space, and I'm not sure exactly how long that's supposed to last. Maybe it's on their website, like they'll have internal memory here and that will cover X amount of pages that you use. I'm about half, which is, I'm like, that's good? Or I'm not sure if that's good or bad, because I'm like, oh, does that mean I'm halfway to filling this up and then I gotta buy another one? Or do I need to start managing my files? Or, wow, I wrote so much that I have so much more to go. And so I think that's one thing that I definitely am a little bit more concerned with at this point. I don't know in the future if they're planning on doing expandable memory, which would be nice, but not gonna be able to work on this A6X. As my son is banging away in the background, just to close, I would say, yeah, if you have the opportunity and you're interested in buying one of these, I would say go for it. I really enjoyed using it. I like the feel. And again, that's something that I can't really describe over YouTube, but just know that I like the feel of it. I think it's really good. You're probably not going to be blown away when you buy one of these. It's just a device and a tool that you're going to use to help you be more productive, more creative, just take better notes and be more consistent with that. And I think like any other, journal or paper pen type of situation, if you buy any type of thing, I think after a while you just kind of stop using it. Of course, there are times when I just use paper and pen just to jot down something real quick instead of having to open this up, boot it up, and write something and then close it off later. Because I need the note to be more, mobile. I need to be able to take it with me, and you can't rip this digital copy. So in those cases, then I think the actual having a paper and pen is better. But for everything else, I found that this is really great. Journaling, just writing my ideas out, planning things, and that's what I bought it for. And so I am very satisfied with this. Oh, one last thing I didn't know, there are some like buggy stuff with it still, but nothing that like makes me very turned off from it. Like there's times where I'll be writing and then all of a sudden it goes like blank, like almost like eraser. And then like the text goes away for a little while and then you just wait a little bit and then it pops back in. But not really a big deal, but I did notice that it's happened on this one a couple of times. But no other problems, and again, my biggest recommendation for accessory would be the harder metal pen. I'm not sure, I think they came out the second one, but this one, really excellent. It's just the feel, it just feels really good, and a lot better than the standard pen, and that was, to me, well worth buying this pen right here. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, I have a whole bunch of other videos kind of going through my thoughts as I was experiencing this last year as a new buyer, and just wanted to make a follow-up, basically looking back a year and a half from when I bought this Supernote A6X. So thanks for watching.